why not? That's funny. Maybe I'll just talk to myself. My big old head, my big old face, Marge headroom. Like Max headroom, only it's my name's Marge. These lines aren't always anger mad lines. Sometimes they're lines of inquisition. Inquisitive people have these. Us that go, why we gotta do it like that? That only benefits you. If you do it like that, it helps everybody out. Try it like that. Things are getting pretty rad. Hella dope on planet Earth. Because we're in that collective wave of bullshit right now. Where people are maxing out with emotions and intensity and they're ready to relent, to surrender, and that's when the good stuff happens. I want to set some positive heart space out to Spencer Pratt. Spencer, Leo, my guy, bud, put the bottle down, man. I can see your torment, my friend. I've held that in my heart. You will be of no use to anyone if you can't keep your wits about you. I can see it. They take things so personally, like they carry the weight of the world on their shoulders and they just need to meditate. Go into the no place space. Go to the place where none of the shit that they tells us out there that we're supposed to count matters. Go to that place. Because Washington, D.C. and Hollywood, they're both the same budgets. They both exist to create a contrived reality. Don't listen to what they say. Build your own communities. Here in Taos, I want to make a rage room. So instead of all the angry little people that drink too much, instead of hitting your kids, don't take it out on something littler than you. Come down to Marge's and bash some shit in the rage room. I'm going to call it the rage cage. People got to start feeling better about things and getting rid of all this stuff that they did that they're so sorry for. Because it's that remorse that this earth can't live with. It's their guilt of, if they had some, it's been misplaced because they have no soul. There's beings that run this earth, they have no soul. So of course nothing is personal and everything is business because all that matters is money to them. They don't care if people are freezing to death in the street. It just serves their gods more. It's really weird. Anyway, so I called today's talk after... Oh, it's categorical, that's what I called it. Categorical imperative and whatnot. That's what I call today's talk. Now, it's an ideology based on principles from a dude named Immanuel Kant. And he talked about moral principles and ethics and what people are willing to do and not willing to do in order to compromise. See, they have the Constitution out there, right? It's all well and good. They could have their Constitution and they can create their big old beast system that supports just going the back and forth. None of that helps anybody. So I've been looking for what my personal constitution is going to be my whole entire life. Then I come across this stuff like categorical imperatives. This is just off Wikipedia. It was introduced in Kant in 1785. Groundwork for the metaphysics of morals. See, this is the stuff that I study. And then I go to school because I know I got to take care of mom. And then my heart tells me what classes to take. And then I come across great teachers like this guy. Dr. Ed Raha passed away today at age 61. Ed was a member of the university family for over 20 years. Ed held the William and Bernice Greencock Chair of the University Center for American Vision and Values and was director of the American Visions and Values Trust. He will be dearly missed. Information regarding arrangements will be shared shortly. I actually knew him in kind of a social capacity because he was friends with Bill W. We had the same friends in Bill W. And he did this course. American Vision and Values, and we talked about the founding principles of what this country was supposed to be. And when I had this teacher, he wrote this book, and we talked about the founding values. And based on my personal experience of being a part of hurting people in places that we had no business. All for the name of their secret societies and their funny little rituals and their fraternities. And none of that stuff ever done me no favor. So I wanted to stop and let's just go back to growing gardens in our local communities. You know, let people get their energy out in positive ways instead of being frustrated. I was listening to Bill Donahue this morning, and he talks about the masculine and feminine, you know. And yesterday I had kind of a hard, it wasn't a hard day. It was just a day of like more examples of when I'm supposed to get the truth about things. I get it. And I'm past the point that I don't want to know truth. I'm like, you know what? I'm good. I got all the truth I could ever know. I don't. And then the universe just keeps going, bleh. No, you need more. Here's some more, Marge. And so I came across this talk by this dude yesterday, Michael Spears or Spice. And he's come across my radar before. I just didn't have all the dots, so it didn't make as much sense to me. But after listening to it yesterday, I was like, my God, I'm a freak of nature. I really am. So, like, when people go, you're a freak of nature, I'm thinking in terms of like a high-frequency being. And they're thinking F-R-E-A-K, like it's a derogative term. And it's not to me. So they're just, people are weird. So let's see if I could find this talk, and I'll put it in here. Max Spear's last lecture, and this could be AI too, because there's a lot. I mean, back when I went to college, back in 04, I figured out that like anything that I see on one of these, or anybody that I talk to in real life, everything has the potential to be manipulating. To want to manipulating. That's why the whole marketing industry exists, to get people to believe in products and buying shit they really don't need. Nobody spick and span. It is so funny how it's always The Sleeping Phoenix by Victoria. Hi, sis! See, my sister's middle name is Victoria, and she died in Phoenix. So I see stuff like that, and she's just saying, good talk, sis! Thanks, bud! Because I live in the no place space. I do. Okay, so I found it. Yeah, most stuff on the internet is like insulting the intelligence of anything that has intelligence. Okay. There, I put the link in there. Boop! So that's a cool talk I listened to. And I listened to this stuff and I said, hey, that sounds like me. Hey! That sounds like me. Hey, that sounds like Jerry. Hey, that sounds like me and my brother. Hey, that sounds like our lives. Hey! Hey! Only I'm the Costello. I'm the dummy that gets jerked along and like played like a puppet with my emotions just so I could entertain and cast my pearls, because my name's Margaret, and in some countries that's what pearls mean, on their swineness. Yeah, there's a lot of creeps in this world. I just want people to learn how to trust your own discernment so you can figure out who they are. And I learned how. I could tell who a creep is from a mile away. I could feel them. I'm like, there's some creepy person around. I could smell their Draquar Nor on the wind. So I was talking about, I got a little sidetracked. I was talking about categorical imperatives. Now, it's a German thing. The dude was German back a couple few 500 years ago. But see, when people die, their last breath is data. It's information. It's their operating system. Because we're just computers with fleshy soul sacs. And our breath goes out, and then when our breath goes out, that's the Akashic records. That's the soul. When your body leaves the soul sac, that is, and then when you meditate, that's when you go in to your coordinates, the old Dewey Decimal System. You go into the Akashic records, and you hang out, and I get to sit at tables with this dude, with Kent and Carl Jung and Edgar Casey and Dolores Cannon and now Bill Donahue and all these, and Ed Rawhut and all these, and little Peg Martin and Dick, like all these people that I've good, bad, right, wrong, or indifferent, they left an energetic impression on me that surmisedly made my collection of all parts the person of all that I am today. And that's pretty dope. And more people need to meditate, man. But I had nap time is what meditation was, is what I come to realize is what was happening when I went to Little Acorn Preschool back in my early childhood programming in Atascadero, California, right there on the highway. I had my first crush on a girl. Her name was Brooke. That's when I figured out, ooh, I like it when they're mean to me. So I'm one of them people pleaser types. Because they tried to break me, my soul, my spirit, that MK Ultra stuff. But Bob wouldn't let them because she was too close to soul, spirit, and she wouldn't let them break my spirit. So she always gave me stuff like this. She made this a part of my world. Let's see if I can find it. She always gave me little things to carry. Like no time. I knelt to pray, but not for long. I had too much to do. Must hurry off to get work, for bills would soon be due. As I said a hurried prayer, jumped from my knee, from off my knee. My Christian duty was now done. My soul could be at ease. All through the day I had no time to speak a word of cheer. No time to speak of Christ to a friend. Christ to me is a frequency. It's like what, like actuates it at like what, like the 9-volt battery that charges people to go out and like help people just feel better that are sad about whatever, anything. People are dirty, give them a shower. People are hungry, give them food. It's a no-brainer. Like, all this over there stuff has just got to end. And Biff is exposing like the level of they don't give a shit about us that they have. Because my brother's one of them. That's how I know. He's a writer for the script. They figured out his abilities and recruited him to be a writer of the script. I gotta finish this and then I'll go on to how he's the writer of the script. My soul could, to speak a word of cheer, no spine to a friend. They laughed at me, I feared no, I don't like reading. I just don't. Okay. So, categorical imperative. It's a way of evaluating, this is just off Wikipedia, it's a way of evaluating motivations for actions. I have Scorpio moon. I have driven to seek the truth. It's what and who I am. I've tried to ignore it. I can't ignore it. And then I say things like, hey, and put people on blast for what and who they actually are. And then they don't like it. Because if you go back the last 9 years of my videos, my record stands for itself. I don't have to speak on it. And I don't have to waste time talking about it. Introduced in Kant's 1985 groundwork of the metaphysics of morals, it's a way of evaluating motivations for actions. It's best known as its original formulation, act only according to the maximum, where you can act at the time that... My brain is doing cartwheels. Act only according to that maxim, whereby you can at the same time will that it should be a universal law. According to Kant, rational beings occupy a space, place, in creation, and morality can be summed up in an imperative or ultimate commandment of reason. Why do people do the things that they do? Well, in America, most of it, I could tell you, surmise in 2 words. Butt stuff, which is a derivative of control, dominance, power, money, property, prestige. Morality can be summed up in an imperative or ultimate commandment of reason, from which all duties and obligations derive. See, you got people like my brother dictating how things should be, and the dude is so embarrassed about leaving little breadcrumbs of his lavender lifestyle And he hates me because I talk about how his favorite song used to be the Rhinestone Cowboy. And all this stuff that don't add up to the deception of who he is. And the guy makes 200, he probably got a new raise. So he's probably, I'm going to say he's probably at the 250K range. But see, then his wife, who gets to wear a cute little white supervisor hat as an engineer because of the advantages that she has gotten in her world, and they're probably at this point bringing in 500K easy. So they're not taxed anymore. So instead of becoming fixing the system that made things so hard for mom, which in turn made things harder, he became part of the B system. And see, you know why people are angry on planet Earth? Because you got a bunch of machismos. You know what a machismo is? A machismo is a man that feels lesser than a man and has too much feminine energy, and they're trying to deny that feminine energy and pretend like they're all man and not feminine. But the world isn't going to get any better until people become congruent in their energies. I drank again after 14 years sober. I'm like, oh, I'm never going to drink again. I got this. This is cool. I don't want to drink. I got a higher power. I'm good. And then I did it basically as and I only myself. I didn't nobody else. Ain't nobody care. I mean, nobody looking at me. They ain't me. No, I added myself. I was like, fuck it. I don't want that. I don't want that sobriety date. I don't want it. I don't want the 10th of June, 2002. I don't want that because it's a lie. They lied to me. They said they were my friend, and they weren't. And they went the way of the ego and not the way of the spirit. And so fuck them all. Fuck them all. You know? Fuck them all. So I get to put anybody, it's my personal constitution that I'm just telling stories about how people treated me. And how people treated people that I cared about, you know. People are like, it's not your story to tell. I'm like, nobody didn't tell me I couldn't. Hypothetical imperative applies to someone who wishes to attain certain ends. For example, I must drink something to quench my thirst, or I must study to pass this exam. The categorical imperative, on the other hand, commands immediately the maxim one conceives, which matches categorical requirements, denoting an absolute, unconditional requirement that must be obeyed in all circumstances, and is justified as an end in itself. And that's what America's turned into. Bend over. You're not going to do what I say? I will make you fold. You know why they do stuff like that? That's because that's what they had to do. And they felt powerless. And the person that they're trying to bend over is making them feel powerless. So they want to make that thing feel like them. And that's why people bend people over on conference tables. That's why America's built on butt stuff. I just explained it to the world. Feel free to pass it around, because I explain a lot of this shit. Because I saw it. I'm like, what? Because there are all these big, tough, strong guys in the military, and I just figured out, oh my God, they're acting big and tough. They're actors. Oh my God, they're acting. Because like what they do behind closed doors is not what big, strong, tough men do. You ever see that movie, The Birdcage? They're acting. Ooh, men smear. You know? And so like, I took on those representations of how my brother and father acted. I was this little tough girl. But they wanted to they weaponize us women too. The scorned woman, they've shot, ever since I was pregnant with mom, I've been a weird science lab project. I'm not supposed to be a female. I'm one of them inverts. I just never got a Hollywood contract for it because I didn't want to do their weird butt stuff shit. I didn't want to praise their Baphomet and their demigods and their weird stuff. I'd rather make sandwich for homeless people and go kick it, and make them feel better and say, hey, what do you want to do to feel better about the community? What words you I'm from no place. I got no earth. I incarnated through mom's golden, portal from San Bernardino, but we left there after what happened to me at 10 months old. Mom said this place is dangerous. I don't date. Dating's an earthly thing. I don't really do a whole lot of earthly things. Because they had me go over there and bomb places, and we had no business, and I feel like some days I go to work and I felt like I was on a soundstage and, all parts unknown, just to get a group of people to believe that we did. I don't know. Do you know anybody in Iraq in 2003? I don't. But supposedly we bombed them, and I went to work every day, and I earned enough money to rent a car so my mom could drive my little dog out to me that she had for going on for 2 years. I didn't get to live with my dog because I had to go off to basic training, play a role, play little soldier, Marge. I'm going to defend democracy and freedom, and then they're going to have elections because I go over there and brought a Dash 96. It brought a pilot, gave him a ride to his B-1 bomber where he got to play real-life video games. Only real people died. Because later, when I was back at Offutt, where I was stationed, they had videos. They passed around inter-office email is a lot different in the military, I tell you that right now. You get stuff from the body cam, the dash cam of the B-1s, and they're literally... I always feel like I'm going to get sick a little bit when I tell this story. They literally, I have men lined up, and all these men, all they see is a bright light, and they are so scared, and they're running this way, and they're running that way, and they're just trying to get out of the slide. They can't get out of the slide, and then the pilot, boom! And that is how they serve their gods. And they laugh, and they giggle, and they don't value life, and they have no reverence for life. And that's why I get on the internet all the time, and I say, I'm sorry for my service. These D-bag flyboy little bitches, man. I'm sorry, they can't turn a wrench. They can't change a tire. They can't teach their kid how to ride a bike because they're all fucking other dudes playing gay while away, getting paid hazardous duty and tax free when they make themselves the fucking hazard. And that's the American wet dream for you right there. I was an age ranger. This is what the military is about. Thanks for doing whatever we want. Here's a little plaque. They didn't even spell my name right. That one's right. H-E-S-S-I-C. He's sick. I should... It's such a mean joke. My laugh is so funny. I gotta laugh because it's... They spelled my name right. I never made it to Sarge because I only did 6 years and I went to school. Because I had to take care of Mom. Mom's sleeping over there. She's going to be getting up soon. But I was at this big important base. I'm an age ranger. Where the doomsday plane is. Get people to believe that there's scary shit. They'll believe that there is. Dude, security's an inside job. I worked at G4S Secured Solution. It was a billion-dollar interest company, 2016. the last time I got a W-2 from a corporation? Well, yeah. And they had employees all over the world, just so the important people could travel to this office and go on vacation. Notice that the best military bases have the best real estate. Best creeps have islands. Like, they're all connected. Like, we're just little, they feed off us and by making us feed off each other. Why don't people understand that? It's pretty simple to see. It's so cool. I found this store. I gotta meet the like owner operator of this place, because as far as a production support standpoint, which is my background when I was in the military, it's a good operation. And I go to the butcher and I order food and they give me food. And then I go home and I make the food. And then my body is so happy about eating this food. And then every time it's so happy about eating this food at the same time, it gets a little bit sad. Because I'm wondering, what the fuck have I been eating for the last unforeseeable time? 6, 7, like, is that they kept everybody inside so they could switch over to the food 3D printing? I mean, I read the articles a long time ago. Like, that's what hot dogs are. I like hot dogs. I'm alien. I'm half alien, half lab rat. And so they've been monitoring me and taking my shit forever. Making an example out. Do I get a profit from it? No. I don't get a profit from it in earthly ways, but in heavenly, in the no place space, I am rich as I can be with all access. I have everything more than everything I could possibly want. Because I got my integrity still intact. Because I know people my whole life. And, either people are going to grow in spirit or going to grow in their ego. And as I look around I'm kind of stoked. I did my eyebrows. Let's see. They're not bad. Here, let me look at this one. I did my eyebrows. Out in the daylight, they look better, but I cleaned them up. They're a lot better. All right, let's see. Ken expressed a strong dissatisfaction for the popular moral philosophy of his day. So I'm like a Kant. I'm like a Kant too. Kant, K-A-N-T. I keep saying Ken, it's Kant. Kant. Consequently, Kant argued hypothetical moral systems cannot determine moral action or be regarded as basis for legitimate moral judgments against others, because the imperatives on which they are based rely too heavily on subjective considerations. Completely. I don't see it I mean, come on. It's so easy to see. He represented a moral system based, I can't say that word, deontological moral system based on the demands of the categorical imperative as an alternative. And on Wikipedia, they outline it: pure practical reason, possibility, freedom and autonomy, right? See, if you learn how to police yourself, then all these agencies that paid themselves and give themselves all these grants and $1 trillion deficits and budgets, they cease to exist. That's what the goal of creating heaven on earth is killing the beast system. So what feeds the beast system, all the monetary, Bitcoin economic reindeer game bullshit that they say, all of our life force energy has to go into bombs over there. So single parents here suffer. Which God does that serve? Not the good orderly direction God, the one I'm about. So if more people create harmony in their own community, more inclusion, or more clubs that offer, give people more access to have their own clubs, and then let people figure out what they want to be a part of, and then they can go off and build their own thing with all the tools that they need. Because I've been getting rides from the Uber lady. And then I was like, do we got to use the app and all that stuff? Can I just message you sometime and set up an appointment? And she's like, cool. Yeah, I said, cool, that's dope. And so we talk about stuff. And I ask other people what they want to see in their community, because a lot of these people are doing this stuff because they're single parents and stuff, and the kids are bored. Like, I was bored. And what did I do? I kind of I was a fringe person. I dabble. I'm an experimental person. I don't want to, I hung out with the theater kids, but I couldn't commit to being in the theater because we never had no money, and I couldn't. Mom wouldn't let me. And so a lot of stuff I couldn't do. But still, I still would hang out and do all the things that they did. I just didn't get put on the bill. Like, I would help with stage and setup and production and that, because I got these artistic abilities and vision and stuff like that. That's what art is visual. It's the first step in a mock-up and creating reality. The only thing is when people get stuck in loops and they just, dude, where I live in Taos, like, art is just getting stuck in loops, like, where would Mom be if I just would have been painting the last 30 years? Mom, I'm going to put you in the home because I want to paint, right? And then I go all over. I drive down to south to Taos City, there's this one hill. It's almost like they made this mounded dirt and then put blacktop on it, just so people can come and park and go set up all their art stuff with their easels and have this view of, like, the gorge. And then you have, it's just like, dude, what a time suck. What a time suck. Because a lot of these times, I could just paint all day and just play all day. These people these visionaries that never actually do anything, they probably left their freaking lights on in their cars. So they go back to their car, right? And then they're like, oh no, battery's dead. Now they're like, oh no, I don't have cell service. What am I going to do? They call 911, because 911 works. And it's just like, look at the agent. It's how many more people get a paycheck because Dippy is unaware of their life. I live in northern New Mexico. They're always saving people. Avalanche, like all these rescuers. Oh, dear Lord, they're all saving these people from themselves. The Torons, and I'm like, what about, what's her name? The chick that got picked up off the highway over here. Or homeboy, the ex-Marine that got freaking taken, the delivery driver dude. Just, these people, they're gone without a trace. There's people every day gone without a trace. But, let's put all the fucking money into Joe Blow, Bob, and whatever. Like the unuseful idiots on the wheel, the skiers and snowboarders, like, doing it every once in a while, once in a year, like, that's cool. But there's groups, there's people that's what they exist for. Go around in their car clubs and just play. All around the communities, every time they do that, they're shitting on fucking local people in the community that don't have everything they need because they don't have enough to join the players. I have no beef against people that play. I just have a propensity to be disenamored with those that play far more than they have ever worked. So they've always sown. They're always getting, whether it's long lines of lineage of privilege, like I have in my family, I just wouldn't bend the knee. I wouldn't take the knee. I wouldn't bend over the conference table and do the things that the important, powerful people do in the America. I wouldn't do it. I wouldn't. I had a dog that what I Benzo, rest in peace, Benzo. He drove me crazy, but I took him to obedience class so I could learn how to train him proper, so I could be consistent. Because people need to be consistent. They're not consistent. They're wishy-washy. They say they're going to do something in one frame of mind, and then they just, I'm just talking from experience how I used to be. Like, I used to just get excited about stuff and then tell people, and then I'd spread myself thin because I was a people pleaser. And now the only person I need to please is my God, my good worldly direction, my ma, and me, and Stan Lee, and Luna Tickle, my last little girl. And at this point, if people aren't pleased with all the work that I've done in this life, nothing that I am going to do is going to please them, except I could help teach people how to be emotionally self-supporting. Although Kant conceded that there could be no convincible example of free will because any example would only show us a will as it appears to us. People used to always tell me to put mom in a home. My brother, put mom in a home, get rid of 2 of your dogs. I had AA sponsors, put your mom in a home. If you ever want to have a decent relationship in life, you can't do it with your mom under the same roof. Put your mom, but none of these people never came and sat with mom and hung out with mom and understood, dude, she came from an orphanage, man. None of you people came from an orphanage. You came from long generations of people that have taken care of your own. And people that do that, everybody else is odd man out. So I just think it's funny that our blood, my blood, is two combinations of very privileged groups. I have the born and raised of Cuesta and all regions in northern New Mexico, surrounded by hundreds of relatives. Hundreds! This nose is on so many people's faces in fucking northern New Mexico because my mom was born to a woman named Cecilia Cisneros in Cuesta. They didn't want her, so they got rid of what they saw as the problem. That's what the beast system does, is create places to discard your human waste. And that's what orphanages and CPS, create environments where the mother or the baby can stay at least in the vicinity in which it was born. Thank God she wasn't, though, because I wouldn't be here if she was raised. If she was born and raised in Cuesta, chances are Greg Hessick in 1973 wouldn't have come to here unless he was doing that biker thing like they did that biker movie here. I can never remember the name of it. It's stupid. I ain't into that biker shit. It's another program I'm not for, dude. My dad was into that program, and then my sister picked it up, and now she's dead from being on the back of a motorcycle. Which is weird, because one time my dad said to me, I said, Dad, I think I'm going to buy a motorcycle. I know a lot of people, they just like to go, rolling hills in South Dakota and close to Sturgis, like I can afford it, just to kind of chill out, go riding with some homies, stuff like that. And his response was, people like you die on motorcycles. I was like, all right, enough said. I guess I mean, he convinced me just with that. I was like, he's absolutely right, because I'm a hothead, because I'm a muscle car. I'm all those machismo things. I just have to keep my energy field degauzed so I don't pick up on bad habits that come with being drawn to those frequencies. And that's why I'm grateful that the military put me in a truck where I went slow. I learned how to drive 10 miles an hour. I couldn't go fast. You get in trouble. You get written, it's worse in the military. It's like tickets, demerits. So I was a good little airman. And so I didn't want to get in trouble. I don't like getting yelled at. Boy, if I could, I tell you all the times I get yelled at when and then I was like, dude, these people are paid actors. I can't take any of these people seriously. They're over here trying to tell me, I am like a... And then I ended up like winning all these awards and stuff just so I could be like, haha, showed you. I'm not the dirtbag that you people said I am. I never was. But see, like attracts like, and they were the dirtbag. And so they were projecting all of their shitty character defects onto me. Okay, whatever. Good thing I took psychology courses that designate when people act like this, then this is likely why they are. Either people come direct or they're indirect. And Mom always raised me to be direct. Come forthright. People think I'm dumb because of how I cooperate with technology. It makes me sound like I'm less educated than I am. And then people don't take me seriously about anything, and why would they? I'm a clown. But you don't have to take me serious. Take me jovial. Just understand I speak from so much experience. That's what people... They can't comprehend my life. They can't comprehend how someone can go from what happened to me at 10 months old baby and reading the sheriff report, like the things I've been a spectator of, right? And my operating system hasn't shored out. And then I still got this shit. That says 55th Maintenance Squadron, Airmen of the Quarter, April through July, 05. The 55th Maintenance Squadron is, ask them, they'll tell you it's the, you know how you take your car down to your shop and then they fix it? Okay? Well, Offutt did that with the looking glass planes, the reconnaissance. Understand something. I'm gonna be very concise and very clear about this. Instruments have always existed. We are instruments. That's what a psychic intuitive is. Instruments. Some of us are more psychic and more fine-tuned to be receivers of frequencies, which are... Instruments don't know the difference. Time. Like the movie High Frequency, past, present, and future. Instruments don't know the difference if the instrument on the plane that is listening to somebody talking on their cell phone, talking about how they found the cure with cancer with hemp products and natural things. Government hears that, says, no, we can't have that. They are an enemy against the state, right? But see, they also use instruments to tune in on collective frequencies. And then they hear about all the things that people are afraid of. Oh no, I'm so scared. I can't pay this bill. I can't pay that bill. I can't, And what's more scary about that is blackouts. You don't got to worry about paying your bill if there ain't nothing to know. That's like, okay, just turn it off. I just explained how we live in the Truman Show. Like over here, like there's communities that have been without power since Katrina and Michael, like all these, like they're still living in primitive lifestyles. In them, their timeline is like, their infrastructure isn't sound. But then over here in 2026, you have like 50 linemen that are. I was like, so why don't you guys, when you're done with your photo op, why don't you go back over there and like collectively, the military in the United States, whatever their job is, age mechanics, back in their community, it's like we should all be reservists, right? So go back in the community and all these maintainers, go be maintainers in your local community. Because the majority... if you think about the pyramid, of what the war is. You have a few people that drop bombs up here at the top. They do that, right? But all this other, and then right below them, there's age. Actually, you might have age because you can't have the planes that get off the plane without age. They're little start carts. You know, now more of them have their own, but like if that if that system fails, then they need us to start their little boom boom droppers. So age is at the top, and then the maintainers, the people that fix the planes, the right, and everything else is in support of taking care of the people that take care of business, and that's what America is. Only thing is it's all lie. It's all I call it rocketeering. Like NASA, it's rocketeering. That's what NASA is. We're going to create and contrive a reality. And we're going to get the whole world to think that we went up there and did this thing. And I didn't look at that for years. And then all of a sudden, I got this thought. And I was like, oh my gosh. And then I started getting information that supported what I believe to be true, and that is complete bullshit. Hi, Miss J. Hey, Miss J, I saw that. I want to tell you, I saw that. I ain't a fan of that guy anymore. That dude's like losing the script, and that there is no plot. And anyway. Dude, I wanted to hear what you had to say. I wanted to hear your voice, Miss J. And he ain't invited to my metaphysical fair. I'll tell you that. He can go if he wants, but he ain't gonna be on my panel. Yeah. Dude blocked me. I can't comment on shit no more. He blocked me. He always talks about being all open-minded and stuff. I can tell you why he blocked me. Because he always complains about stuff. He's one of those Virgo, the woe's me, right? He's mad about his mom. His mom, he set that up, dude. I saw the wheels turning. I'm going to move my mom out. And then we need a bigger place. Mom, let's get... His mom bought him his house. Grown ass in his 60s, mommy bought your house. Of course he's not going to like me. I've been moving all over the country to keep my mom out of a home for 8 years. I'm the fucking exact opposite of him. Robert Phoenix. Sorry, Morris. And in case you didn't know, alcohol causes heart problems and 7 kinds of cancer. So, hope your boy's making mocktails too, not just that boozy shit. And I wonder if he's ever going to have the experience where he's sitting there and somebody orders a drink and they put that drink down on the bar and they're like, and the person's like, I haven't had a drink in 17 years. And they're having an inner war right now. And to be that bartender, to watch somebody fucking shit on 17 years and doing all that stuff. But it doesn't matter because disease of alcoholism, it grows whether you're drinking or not. These are things that I learned when I went to AA for fucking 15 years. So it's just so weird to sit next to people like my buddy Walt and Kathy Wasaki who just didn't have the support that so many people had. And then they do stuff like they couldn't they always felt like a tongue on a 9-volt battery, and they couldn't figure out how to disconnect from that discomfort of what it is to be human and do those things. And Walt, my buddy, dude, he was such a good guy. I remember helping move him into his house. Only people I ever knew got one of them Habitat of Humanity houses thing, right? Help he and his wife. I always thought he was like, his wife was out of his league, but I think she would like let herself go. Anyway, homeboy doused himself with flammables and then lit it, and then just like that is like that's like worth in childbirth, you know? And so I know what pain is, and I've had this pain because I felt so much that I don't want to feel anymore. Thank God I learned about meditation. Thank God that Joseph and the Lilies and all the people that, all the ways I learned how to disconnect. Thank God I found about that. And I didn't choose alcohol. And my heart is still strong. Because I'm still active. I can't walk like I can. I'm getting there. I'm trying to, here's how, you want to hear something for a weird, the synchronicities and how my life lines up? This stuff happens like this all the time. I go through Facebook and I see an ad for a lady that says, certified podiatrist Edith James is already taking appointments for March 2nd through the 5th. Blah, blah, blah. 34-point-foot health assessment, custom orthotics, rebuilding and modifying orthotics, footwear forensics coaching, leg lifting discrepancies. I know all about mine because when they do stuff to you when you're a baby, it puts discrepancies in your leg lift. Custom toe separators, Birkenstock repair. So I called the appointment yesterday to set up an appointment with this woman, okay? Because I was like, oh, maybe I can get one. She has the same name as my grandma, so maybe my grandma, in her death, is willing to do more favor than her life. So I called, and then my earth angel, I sent her that. I said, I'm going to try to meet her. And then she just nonchalantly says, oh, good. I did write her about your mom a long time ago when she was still in Missouri, and she told me I needed to bring Loretta in. She was close friends with my friend Sue. I have no doubt she'll be able to help your mom. Oh, geez, hoping your keys were found. For me. There. For me. So she knows that lady. Like, I never knew the world to be just a globe that spun around and then people went to work 9 to 5 and you read books that told you how your body worked and all this stuff that I just never, they always said, all those health books always said that like girls didn't start their menstruation cycles until they were 12, 13, and I was like, well, what am I? Because I started a week after my 9th birthday, which presents a whole world of weird for a little girl. You got the creeps that have that, the breeders, and then you have like just going to school, me, being bashful and like I didn't carry pads and tampons in the 2nd grade. They're like, all that stuff sucked for me. And I always had to pretend like it didn't. Because whenever I would act like something bothered me, the person that likes to put salt in the wound, they're the ones that like to remind me how much and why I hate feeling the way that I do, because they're constantly reminding me of it. So anyway, I went down this rabbit hole yesterday about the assigned beings. So, and I just wouldn't take the role. That's the thing. I wouldn't do all the things. I went in the military, but there's no way I'd do 20-something years. Like, 6 years pained me. It was like, I felt like the biggest hypocrite in the whole world. And I'd work out extra, so whenever I'd feel that way, but then I'd go out in the community to be a part of the community to justify my behavior and all this stuff. So this is where my brother went to law school. I don't have it anymore, but I had an award from this university that said this on it, and then it said to Margie Hessick for putting my brother through. So I had a plaque that acknowledged that I supported him not only through his practice wife divorce with his Nazis proteges from Paperclip in the radio and all that stuff. Like, I supported him. It was when he passed the bar in 2007. I was working at Creighton the Creighton CUMC, Creighton University Medical Center. It's not there anymore. I think it's apartments now. But back then it was a medical hospital, and I had my own little office for the first time ever. And I said, give me your bar number, 249-276, your number. And I said, what do I got to put in because I want to be refreshing the page. I want to see if you passed, or I know you passed, but I want to be there with you, brother. And so I did that. And so I was there the instant that he found out that he was a lawyer. And then he became a military JAG. And then now all these years later, years after, we haven't spoken in years, because I was like, dude, I don't know who you are. I don't know who are you? Like, your character is out of character, and you're dangerous. He changed in ways I couldn't recognize. And so check this out. He went to this school, University of the Pacific. Now, he's also in a fraternity. Kappa Sigma, blah, I got a picture of his tattoo on here too. So I have a lot of evidence that he has been a person of deception, and he's been in a position of power all this time. And I'm like, he's not a creditable person, because he's a paid actor. And it says, check this out. Jerome went to law school here. Look at the notable figures. So these are some of the... So once you go to the same school and you get a degree, it gives you the same advantages that it gives these other people. Understand that, okay? Notable people. Greg Azarian, 93, California State Assemblyman. Mark Amadoli, and they all drink too much and they're willing to do weird butt stuff. They're all compromised of character. Wonder how many of these people have been at Bohemian Grove. Chief of Staff to Gavin Newsom. That's how Jerry got into his office, exchanging letters with the governor. It's advantage. See, Ronald J. Bath, 75 years, 1975, United States Air Force Director of United States Force Strategic Planning. Well, that's so interesting, because all that is a bunch of men sitting around the table deciding what the American public needs to believe is going to happen to us based on intel. And the intel is surveillance and reconnaissance that they use by gathering what our fears are and then providing scenarios out there, so that, look at all the population, they're so scared about, Scott Baugh, 87, former California State Assembly. Scott Moore, sports agent. Like, last time I saw my brother, we just had this wonderful trip at the airport, or at going down Grand Canyon for my 40th birthday. My dad and brother and it was like our bon voyage, just like our parting gift, like our relation, like we weren't the same people, and blood wasn't enough for them not to be the creeps that they are. And after it's over, we're at the airport. My dad said goodbye to him. He was driving off to go back to Atascadero, where he got all his born and raised privilege from his Eastern Star mother and his Freemason father. And then, at the airport, standing there with my brother, and I'm talking to him, because I'm like, dude, I don't know when I'm going to see you again, bro? Because I always liked him more than he liked me. And he was done. He was like, he has a capacity of me. He's a Virgo. He can't take that much. And he's just like ready to go back to his routine where everything is controllable and predictable. And so I'm like, and he's like, you know who that is? And I was like, no, I have no idea who that guy is in a polo shirt and Dockers. He's like, that's the owner of the Sacramento Kings. And I was like, what a stupid thing to know. You don't know when my birthday is, but you know who that, like, what? Sports people are dumb. They have misconstrued priorities. I don't like it. I had to be subjected to it. Growing up, freaking trapped in a car all the times I had to listen to fucking Giant games, and excuse my language, I get excited, I curse. Anyway, so my brother basically blew me off so he could go schmooze with the guy, you know, and make an impression on somebody that probably just wants to be left alone, but whatever. I don't know. So, what are we going to do for breakfast today? Silly old Lant thought he could punch a hole in the dam, and no one could make that ram scram. He could put that dam. I'm a ram. I butt the damn ram. I'm the butt the damn ram. And I'm also the ant. That's a song that's playing. Once there was a silly old ant. Sky hope so when you're time and you're feeling like bad, sad, ram. Oops. There goes a billion killer ant dam. Plus, I grew up right next to Shasta Dam. I was always nervous. I never wanted to be downstream from that thing. Plus, Tila, girl I was pals with, jumped off it. I mean, you know how things are haunted? It's because people have so much sadness that that's where they leave the earth. That's how Taos is. Taos is one of those places. It's such a... Because sensitive people are constantly tuning into frequencies that they're on their own. But their whole life they're raised that stuff isn't real and it don't exist. While all the beast system profits from the cognitive dissonance that's created from people not believing that it exists, all the while forever giving evidence that is in fact exactly how it is. Whoa! Sometimes I say these things in one breath. I should just record my conversations with people. I just get blasted with this stuff. Anyway. And also they monitor our thoughts and then create Hollywood based on our thoughts. How many times have you seen aspects of yourself in a show? Like, I don't watch most of the shows that we replay are replays. Like, I go to bed at night with, because it's the laugh track. It doesn't matter what the episode it is, that there's a cadence. There's a frequent, it's like it's like when the TV show has an elemental system to it, it's like a recipe. And they use, so I like the songs that have two things. It's the laugh track, the live audience that is responding to what they're saying. I don't care about what they're saying. They usually say stuff like, they talk about cannibalism and eating babies, and then the crowd goes, ha ha. I don't give a shit. I don't care about, it's that I pay attention to the music because I'm audibly stimulated, and the laugh track. Because everybody has a cadence. Everything has a cadence. We'd have to march. When I was in the military, we'd have to march to tech school. We'd have to line up in formation, hold your arm out, stick your, do all that stupid pony show shit. Just kill time. And then I went through my phase where I listened to a lot of tarot card readers. And again, it did not matter what the tarot card reader was saying. Blah, 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 blah. My dog ran away. Didn't matter. What I would tune into is how the tarot card was shuffling their deck of cards. Because I came from an NK Ultra family. We played a lot of cards. I would lose a lot because I would leave my thoughts wide open, and they would pick up on this stuff and tune into me. And so they were using me so they could practice their own abilities. My brother did it all the time. That's why I learned how to play chess as a 3-year-old little girl. 2 years old, 3 years old. Where I would watch them play, and then I'd say, like, why do you do this? Why do you do that? And then they figured it out, and then they put me in the chair, and then I started playing chess, and these grown-ups are like, this kid's playing chess. But see, I just wanted to participate because it was exciting, and I understood, I knew all the names, I knew all the names, I know how all they move, I know about strategy. And then I would start seeing how I would go out in the world and people were playing chess at the DMV with their attitudes. I'm going to make you sit there. I can help you do what you need in 5 minutes, but I feel I have ideas of grandiosity with inferiority complexes. So I'm going to make you wait. And that's why ERs, I learned about this because I worked in ERs, and then I worked in IT, and I supported these companies that would always make you wait. Make you wait for why? Because I can. That's egomaniacal. It's evil, that shit, making people wait. Making kids in the middle of the night with earaches wait for hours when they could be seen and done. But they just didn't feel like it. Like, that's what America is, and this is all this shit that's coming to close now. It's just coming to an end. Like, it's not going to be that anymore. People are already having spring in places, so the people that are still experiencing winter and ice and frozen, that's karmic retribution for your collective area. How many times I listen to that Robert Phoenix guy talk about Texas and how the community comes together, but what? How long have you lived there? 13, 14 years? You couldn't fucking make sandwiches for the local volunteers in your community. You couldn't support in any capacity the people that support your community because you are an old man and you can't go out there and do shit to fucking cut down trees and to save people. It's always somebody else that has to save people. It's always somebody else's until I come bebopping along and I'm a father of 3 with his wife traveling around northern New Mexico, has a flat tire. I come along, I'm like, what, you don't got a spare? Yeah, we got a spare. Or no, we don't. And then I'll look underneath the minivan and find the spare that they don't know where it's at in the secret compartment underneath. Or I'll show them that there's a mat. There it is. Like, they don't know. People don't. All the stuff I know, I try to tell people what I know so that I don't have to come and save them. That people can save themselves. I went into the military to save myself and mom. I went to college to save myself and mom. I did all these things, and I traveled around the whole country because mom had a dog and I had 4 dogs back when I had my own house and my life was different, and the universe said, nah, you gotta go learn lessons, so you go learn those lessons. And I said, but my dogs, it don't matter. You be true to your heart, you show people that what it is to live from your spirit, and you and your DOGs and mom will be okay. And that's what happened. It didn't come without a lot of turmoil. Didn't come without trudging. The stuff I had to deal with people. The shit I had to eat to put up with what people felt like I deserved. Just because I wanted to keep my dogs until they fucking died. And I want to keep mom comfy until she goes to the no place space to be with the critters, But people they feel bad about their lives and they just want to make it hard on other people. And I needed this stuff to stop, man. When I first got to Taos, mom's entitled to food stamps. Could she get food stamps? No. Did I ever try again? No. No. I tried to use your stupid shit. It's broke. I have no faith in any of your systems. And then we found out that mom was born in Cuesta,
22 miles to Crecillas Cisneros. So that's my little funny little quippy joke, that I am literally in the land of the stupid cousin, because I am surrounded by so many people that could have taken mom in, and they never did. They never did. They never thought that she was worth any of the love that their generations had, you know, to give to the important chosen kids, while the fucking scapegoats and throwaway are sacrificed to B systems like orphanages in the name of CPS. Dude, in Oregon, when I lived in there, they were still, kids are getting beat up, parents are touching them, having them do weird movies because it makes all kinds of money, all this weird stuff. What do they do with the kids? What do? They lock them up in cages. They put them in small rural small town Oregon, lock them up at the show, you know? Like, no. This is not, no, this country is a complete lie. And it's all crumbling, and I don't feel bad for it. See, it's this, soon as the year of the horse, was it the woodhood? I don't know, it's elements. I can't remember. So this is the year of the horse, and all these people are talking about horses. What are horses? Well, horses scare the shit out of me. I respect them. I respect their power, like the ocean. I respect all that they are, and I am small next to them, and please don't want me dead. And because when I was a little girl, that's what happened to a woman in Santa Margarita outside of Atascadero, just south. Before you go up over the hill and to go to the San Luis Obispo grade to the other side. It's like a 26 mile. Anyway, back in there, lady was brushing her horse. And the horse turned around and bit the lady in the neck. Lady dropped dead right there. And I always wondered, man, what did she do to the horse? Because horses don't, like, you know the spirit of an animal. So I got native blood in me, you know. I'm on both sides, because evidently Scottish or native, I don't know, it's all blah, 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 blah. Anyway, so I have all these abilities, and then I find other groups, I'm like, oh, I could do that too, but I don't want to be a part of your dumb group. So they always scared me. But I always liked girls that like horses. I always thought they were like rugged and tough and tumble and pretty, you know. And so we're in the year of the horse, and all I keep picturing is a world where a lot of people are going to get knocked down off their high horses. So this is my theory that DC and Hollywood are the same, okay? My brother was always too, he's a psychic intuitive too, but he was too I would go out there and do the stupid thing. I would be the first to dance at, you know, and I'd be the first to get mashed potatoes at the potluck, and he was always more, no, embarrassed, stuff like that. I got over my shit. He didn't. And so instead, there's a VHS someplace that like he did a PBS, one of those Just Say No movies that they did it at the water park. I was junior high, so it's like 86. And he got cast, because he's a good looking dude. So he got cast to do one of those, hey, are you sad? You know, he's like talking to his peer. It's like a peer, you know, oh, you should talk to an adult, you know, all this stuff. Like, and I mean, he fits, I'm not going to go too much into it, because I tell little pieces here and there all over the place. But what he did is, I will just say this, he got in trouble, and that is when the powers that be got their hooks at him. That's pretty much what he sold his soul, is what he did. And his trouble got expunged. And I was like, what does that mean? That means that they basically shred your record, and there's no record of the thing that you did happening. It doesn't take away the fact that they did the thing, but in a narcissist's mind, there's no proof. But see, I am the proof, because I'm an actual account of history where I witnessed these things. that he says never happens. So because of his self-will, see, I learned discipline the hard way and late, and he never learned from my mistakes, and so he's about to make a bunch of his own, and people are going to fall down off their high horse. So in supporting my theory is that he went to this law school, which all law is script. That's all law is you have men that write down on a paper, this is how people act. This is how people are. That's all the whole legal system is. They're a bunch of producers of reality. That is the legal system. And then they get to stand around. They're like, well, I don't know. Is he a good guy or is he a bad guy? Did he do the thing? It doesn't matter. It matters if they can prove if he did the thing. That is what the legal system is. It's a system of smoke and mirrors. And then they say, okay, we can manipulate their minds by telling them what is good and bad. And we could do that with Hollywood. So that video that I shared the link in this and earlier here talks about Project Oak Tree. Tie a yellow ribbon around the old oak tree. Because that's what they did to me. Like, you know, they try and make us to act these ways if we relent to our will. I wouldn't relent. I did for a long time, but I learned the lessons. Now I live for God, good orderly direction, spirit. So if you scroll down to here, go down farther, it's a lot. Poli-sci or acting classes, how's that? Does that break it down for people? Does that clear it up for anybody out there? Noreen Evans. And I wouldn't play the role. Because I'd stand up there and I'd look all important and serious. And then I'd be like, because it's stupid. Because it's dumb. All of it's dumb. I get in trouble for radio etiquette. And stuff like that. So all these chief operators, CEO of the Sacramento Kings. Maybe that's how he knew who the guy was. Maybe they went to school together. I never seen that one before. Maybe that's who in 89. No, because it was later. But he's always been into the Kings because he identifies as a king. Or actually probably closer to a queen. But all kings are men that deny the feminine energy and they overcompensate, but they're mostly the feminine energy anyway. And the women with the short hair, dude, they're the fucking savage warriors. Dude, you know why? Before I went into the basic, I said, I don't want to deal with my hair. So I went in and I put my head like this. I said, just cut it. Because I can't get a haircut for 6-7 weeks or whatever. And I don't even want to think about my hair. So just cut it. And then from that point, I didn't get a haircut until that was 2000. This November, Mom's birthday. And then I didn't get it. I got it, my first actual haircut when I got it like cut off in Crete when we bombed Iraq, supposedly. So I scroll down because there's a whole list of all these freaking influential people. But this is the part that I want to make note of. See that guy right there? He's a guy named, what is his name? Raymond Burr. I always get it confused with the different Burr. Raymond Burr, okay? Now, he played a guy that was a lawyer in a wheelchair. Best known for his fictional defense attorney, Perry Mason, a longtime supporter of McGeorge. So he's a paid actor. That is why when I say DC and Hollywood are the same, that's what I'm saying. Lawyers are paid actors. They're paid actors. They're the writers of the script in society. Lawyers are paid actors. They don't have a lick of fucking sense. They don't wash their own shit stains off their own pants from drinking too much. They can't hold their bowels. You know, so they hire people that they can trust, you know. And wives, like, you know all the trashy stuff that your husbands do, and it's okay because it's a two-way street. Like, you could do terrible things, he can do terrible things, and according to the law, you guys don't have to go against each other. You don't have to be against. So It's just a law. It's just something that somebody wrote down someplace and said, this is how it is, because don't you know who we are? And I'm like, I don't want nothing to do with any of your butt stuff. So, and I started putting this stuff together, and I started figuring out how, like, long time ago, because I grew up watching shows, Rockford Files, and then now with Roku, it came back on my radio, so Mom and I started rewatching the Rockford Files a couple years ago. Now, that show came out this year I came out, 1974. It's in Aries. The show itself is in Aries. I'm in Aries. And like they premiere things to spike energy on their ritual days. And if you go back and look at all the, and like they had a couple episodes, and then they didn't do any for several months. And then they had more, right? It's all, and back then, it was in the 70s, they used to commonly talk about Freemasons. Like in a lot of shows. And, so-and-so's the 33rd, they put stuff on the scripts in the movies. And then they create it in the world. And their legal defense is, this is their legal defense. Their whole legal defense is them standing there with their hands on their hips going, you're crazy. That stuff doesn't happen. That stuff only happens on the movies. And that is how America is a psychological operation to get people to believe in things like Santa Claus, another psyop, and Valentine's Day, another psyop that's coming in, and whatever that gets you to do weird stuff when they want you to, because like all the powers that be, they all use astrology. And Mom had my first chart done when I was born. Only I don't play other people's reindeer games. I try to join, then I do something and people are like, no, we don't want you. And I'm like, okay, I'll go play by myself. So that's what I do. So I learn here and I learn here because I'm just a truthful being and I'm looking for the truth. So I'm trying to find it. So I see people on the internet and I'm like, well, they seem like a truthful person. Let's see if like attracts like, if my theory stands. And then I reach out to people on the internet. And I've connected with some in very, very, very intimate ways, I might add. But I don't need to be intimate with people and be physical with people. I could be intimate with people and never meet them in real life, and that fucking freaks people out that want to hide. I'm not a hider. I'm a truthful person. So what I come to find out is when I connect with people like the Leo Cub or Robert Phoenix or L'Oreal Lothian or Deborah Silverman, or Anastasia Cosmic Astrology, or Michael the Peace Dealer. I try to connect with all these people and I say, this is who I am. I want to make the world a better place. Let's see if you do too. And then I throw out the net and then I wait, like I did when I was a little girl, 2 years old, fishing in the ocean with my crab net 3. And I wait, and I imagine and I picture the crabs. What's that? Something happened in the water. They look around, and it takes them a while to gather and start moving and see the bait. You got to give it time. You can't do it too fast because crabs don't go. And I picture all this stuff, and I hang out with the captains of the ships, and they teach me about the stars and how it doesn't matter how inconsistent people are because the stars is where consistency is always found. And it says so in the Bible. And so I listen to the people that know what they're talking about. All the while wading through oceans of bullshit, people declaring that they know what they talk about until I show up. And see, they're not about the truth like I am. So then I get shut down and I get locked out and I get hidden from the channel and I'm the troll. And I'm like, dude, I was on TikTok. There's this young girl, because I see myself in other people's, not all of, I'm not taking on their lives, but I was like, yeah, when I was, when I got Gemini placements, she's a Gemini. I even said, hey, are you a Gemini? And she's like, AF. And I was like, all right, cool. You know, she's like half my age. You know, like I have no personal nothing with anybody on the internet. Like people I meet in real life, most of them are NPCs, so they don't impact me. I just try to be cordial and be on my way. Sometimes they glitch out, so on me, because you know I vibe high in the Marge tricks, and I'm an electronic slider, and I short people's minds out, and they get dumb sometimes, like I do with the pretty girl. And so I forgot what I was talking about. I also worked at Creighton University. And when I was done working at the medical side, see, that's where I got in. I didn't get in through, always get in the back door, the workaround. If God wants me someplace, I'm going to get the VIP pass is how it operates. And so I got in from the hospital side, but then I applied for positions over on the university side to like build up. And Ray Kopp in radiology hired me. And then I moved over, and then I started figuring out about what the fraternal order of butt stuff and the brotherhood and what it entailed. Like, I was in the military. You show up for work unless you're like, even if you're like, you go like you don't make excuses. You don't have opinions. You don't have emotions. You just have a job to do, and you do it. And it was such a slacker Jesuit environment, incestuous, nasty, dirty, gross. The coolest part is I did get to meet some of the monks. They did one of them sand mandalas, so I got to hang out with them. Because the bathroom, so I'd go every day, I'd watch the progress that I worked. And these guys, they cheated, and they were hogs, and they always got free meals, and they always would get away with stuff that I was always told was wrong, and it was the best job I ever quit. Like, this Nick Studo dude, he was a freaking ugh. He ran the student service desk together. I sat at the main window, and he sat over there, and it was a full cycle. Like, we got freshmen, and then those freshmen graduated, and I quit. And so that was my college experience, was vicariously through these, and watching people get proper drunk and just like lose themselves because they don't know, they never really knew who they were. It's hard to see. I didn't want to do it anymore, but they always, like, he had season tickets for the Bears. Not the Bears. Denver Broncos. And so he'd call in sick, and then he'd post on social media, like, 2 weeks later about how we went to the game. Like, he was very manipulative, but I always figured it out. And they were in cahoots. But then the extra work would come down on me, see? Because I was always the single person. So, how many times I have to cover everything because people, they're all their kids go to the same school, and they have the, and so, okay, there's always people left behind. I just speak on what it feels like to be them, because most of the world has a mentality that other people out there to save them. Like, I'm trying to create a world in Taos that is an entirely self-sufficient place. I don't want to see two firehouses and different, these little firehouses where you got these fluffy little red and green chili suckers and soppers, waiting for something to happen. Like, your trucks aren't even clean. Don't act like you care. Don't act, your uniforms aren't ironed. Don't act like you care. Like, I cared when I was a part of these groups that I didn't want to be part of, but because I had an end, like, I had something I had to do, take care of mom, I was going to be the best little character I had to be to play the role for these people so I could get on with my life. Because they're into the means or butt stuff, and I'm not into the same shit that perverts and people chasing sensation. All the people that are, I don't got Earth in my chart. I'm not here to chase sensations and watch this firework and get my willies and drive my car fast and get all my tummy all turny and all this stupid stuff. Like, I did it when I was a little girl. I left all that chase and sensation back then. Now we have to make a world for all the other little girls that aren't even here yet. They're still flying out. Their souls are looking for a place to land, but where are they going to go? Because people aren't having babies natural no more. They already making the incubator baby again. They did this stuff back in. They never do anything new. They just erase the history that it's been done before. Reverse engineer. They always steal. The frat boys always steal shit. My brother was one. He's been taking credit for shit I've done my whole life. Making chocolate eclairs. Take it up to the wedding. Marge, everybody loved your chocolate eclair and your stuffed mushrooms. They loved them so much. I couldn't help but tell them I did it myself. Oh, you took credit for something I did? Oh, okay. So how do people think I know about... you go listen to my talk from the Peace Dealer, Michael. He even talks about how like I'm a human lie detector, you know? And I always know my higher power is watching, so even when I act ass, the only thing I gotta talk to is, Marge, is that good orderly direction? No? You want to try and be better, Marge. You got to try and lead by example and do a little bit better, Marge. Can't be so mad anymore, so I'm coming into my nice Auntie Marge era with tough love as fuck. Because there's too many people. I don't want to... Like, I would be doing the Leo Cub and these big spiritual giants that claim themselves to be the GGs, all these people that have their ginormous networks, that I would be doing them all a disservice if I didn't try and share with them what I know. And that is when your ego is fed too much and you are given so much, you turn into the little capacitor that can't take it, and your system will short out. So what I found for me to be true is all the energy, the flooding, the quickening that I feel, I use it for 49% of me to take care of me and my soul sack and my body, to dance, exercise, make appointments for my feet, do all that stuff so I can take the 51% of what is left of me out into the world and try to be a good example. That's about all I got for now. Thanks for hanging out. I hope